Hi guys, I'm finally back with this week's review. It's been overdue for a while, and I actually recorded one yesterday. I actually recorded like three yesterday, but there was a cat disturbing me and I couldn't get it done. So I scrapped the idea of doing one yesterday and I decided, let me start today instead. So here I am back with my this week's review. And the book I had like a God knows how much time ago was this one. It's The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. And so she's a best-selling author. I think she's written a few other fantasy books, like romantasy books. I think that's what the category is. And so this one is completely different to her usual style, I believe. This was a historical fiction, and that's one of the reasons that I grabbed it, because I do like, my preferred genre of books is historical fiction. I expected it to be different. So this is done in like a dual perspective. So you've got Scarlett, who was based in during World War II, and you've got Georgia, who's contemporary. So she's like in the present day. And the story goes between the two women and like how they're dealing with life in their respective eras. Scarlett, like I said, she was an officer. She was in the WAF during the time of World War II, and she was serving, where she kind of fell in love with an American fighter pilot. And in the present day, Georgia has fallen, like she's just come out of a divorce and she's kind of heartbroken, but she's starting to fall in love with Noah. And Noah is the writer who is trying to finish Georgia's great grandma's book, and the great grandma happens to be Scarlett. So that's where the story kind of intertwines and like comes together, because it's like an unfinished story being like written by like they're finally giving an ending to a story that was unwritten and unfinished. So what happens in this book is like, I it was a little slow for me to begin, like to start off with, and I felt like it was kind of dragging on just a little bit between the characters. And while the story was really good on Scarlett's side and from Jameson's like those two, I felt like it was really lacking between Georgia and Noah. And the way that Noah is written seems a little sus to me, because if you read the perspective of this guy, it's like it's been written in the perspective of a little boy, like a teenager. That's how he's thinking, and like his focus is completely like here and there when it comes to the writing. But Jameson was very different. I thought he was like really well written. Also, like, I was getting ready to not finish this book. I found it a little difficult to actually like read, the writing as well as like the storyline and all of that. So like there was a period between my tags here. I think you can see from here to here. I kind of like didn't want to finish it, and then I started flipping through the pages, like going to the end and seeing like how much is left, as you do when you are trying to get through a book instead of enjoying a book. And then I suddenly came across like the plot twist, and I lost it. I really, really lost it. I was like, "There's no way this is how they're plot twisting me." And I could, after that point, like after that point, you have to read the whole book. And I was rushing through the pages, and that is how I got to the final end. And I thought it was written in a better way. Like, they tied it up nicely, because there's obviously a sad story there. It's Jameson losing his life, and you're not sure if he's ever like he's plane crashed, and you don't know if he's like alive or not, because he's just like MIA. But at the same time, like Scarlett's waiting for him, and she doesn't know what to do. She has to leave England before the war gets worse. And at the end of it, Scarlett actually dies. Like she passes away as well. I'm sorry, that wasn't funny, but like she passes away, and the ending is they both meet each other in heaven or wherever it is, and they are together at least in their next life or afterlife. And the sister Constance, who was the biggest plot twist in this story, she manages to live a life of peace and love after a while. And the whole book, it was a roller coaster of emotions, and I do think the plot twist really makes it better because that you want to get up to that point of the plot twist, but at the same time, like, it was a very slow read. I feel like it didn't need all these pages. So after I finished that book, Jesus. After I finished that book, I started reading a familiar author. I read his work before and I really, really enjoyed it. And this is CJ Sansom, and the book is called Darkfire. It's the second book in the Matthew Shardlake series. And if you guys watched the video for like the Matthew Shardlake first book, Dissolution, that book was so well written. I loved the fact that it's a historical fiction book, but it was written in like a modern perspective, like not modern perspective. It was written in modern English, so it's easy to read. It's not like art thou here, you know what I mean. But it was written in that kind of way, and it was really easy to flip through. And the story really gets interesting when you kind of discover the sins of, like, these are men of religion. Most of these people are of people of religion, and they're like highly, highly like conscious about religion and the state and like God and Jesus Christ and all of those things. But they are the persona of sin. Like, all of those people that claim to have religion, they are the epitome of sin, like lust, greed, envy, all of it. And Matthew Shardlake is no different. Like, especially in this book, it comes out he is envy. He's got a hunchback. He is a hunchback, so he's got like a natural deformity, and that makes him so bitter towards other people. Like, he's always looking at other people's exteriors and he's judging them. He's looking at how much money people have or if they're better off than him. So that's the kind of person he is. But he's also like a lawyer. He's well educated. He's got a decent income, and some of that never seems to matter if he's in the presence of someone with a little bit more money or a little bit more like better looking, because he will always, always just judge them to the core. So this book sets off 4 years later compared to like when the other book started. And here is the cat that I was telling you about that was disturbing my book, like the video yesterday. And he's doing the same thing today. He's actually stepping on my back. What are you doing? I'm so sorry. No. Okay. But anyway, so this book sets off 4 years later after the first book, and it comes out, it's like he's caught in a mystery again. So he's caught in between two cases. The first case is of a girl who was accused of murder, and the second case is of the disappearance of something called Greek fire. So I did a bit of research on what Greek fire is. It's petroleum. It's literally petroleum, and also could be like a bit of like napalm as well. So it's very explosive, very like it's difficult to put out unless you're using sand. And I believe modern day you would have to use like fire extinguishers and stuff like that. But back in the day, they thought it was crazy because these people have never come across petroleum before. So they're on the hunt for that to mass manufacture it because they want to go into war with Spain and France. But they can also sell it and gain a really good profit from it. So the mystery is unraveling there. And as always, like I've expected it from his books, Matthew Shardlake series is a very slow burn. So I'm on page 180 right now, but it's still a significantly slow burn until you get to like page 300 when the story really picks up. So I'm very excited to get onto like the next few chapters because I know there's going to be an unnecessary twist in there, but also they they got rid of one of the characters last one, and I really liked him. His name was Mark. He's got really good banter, but they replaced him this time with another guy who's got really good banter, and is really funny. So if you haven't read this series before and you like historical fiction, I really recommend the CJ Sansom's Matthew Shardlake series because it's very insightful. It's got a lot of information. The characters are so well written, and there's like 6 books, so you'll always have something to read. So that's my review for this week. And like I said, this is my TBR, but I'm almost, not almost, but like halfway through the book, and I'm very happy with it. And if you guys enjoyed this video, maybe give it a like or a thumbs up. Oh, that's the same thing, a thumbs up and a subscribe. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.